The busiest draft weekend is upon us, and you've stopped at the right place to get your lunch. On today's menu, we have the do's and don'ts of fantasy redraft leagues with some of our top players at each position and some of our don't draft players at each position. Stay tuned. Welcome into the shop. Here we go. Welcome in to the DFS Deli. I am the proprietor of this delicatessen, Sully Ali Shahid, and today's lovely menu, redraft leagues. Labor Day is the busiest draft weekend of the year, and we're here to prepare you with our do's and don'ts of the 2023 draft. As some of you may know, some of you may not know, Baker and I just completed our home league, Friends League draft over the weekend, and I think it was a rousing success. Chill, have you done any redraft so far, or you got leagues coming up?
I got leagues. I got leagues coming up. Baker and we already did our dynasty draft. I think that was like a couple months ago. Obviously, completely different ball game there, but we
ain't talking dynasty. No.
I got a redraft league coming up here on Tuesday, and I'll probably do a fun Yahoo league or something before that. So
fair. Dale, you got any drafts going?
I have one, I think, this week, and then my big one that I do with the old buddies from bowling is next Wednesday at 6.
Excellent. Baker, how did you feel I think you're drafting right now, correct?
Oh, my draft's done.
Okay.
That draft is complete.
Excellent. How did you feel our draft went together?
There was some interesting picks. I feel like there was some guys that some people reached on.
Who had the worst pick? Who had the worst pick in your draft? I'll start with you, Baker. Who had the worst pick?
Damn, don't be putting our friends on blast like that. No,
put him on the spot, Baker.
Hold on. Let me bring up the draft results real quick, and I'll tell you exactly who had the worst pick. Give me 1 second, my friend.
For you, Sully, is there one that sticks out that you were just a little questionable?
I mean, not necessarily. I think there's certain players on my don't draft list that we'll get to, but I think not reaching, but going up a few rounds for a guy like DeAndre Swift is not recommended for me. I think that at this point in time, you got to let him kind of like fall below his ADP and, take him later in drafts if he just happens to fall to you. But like this Eagles backfield is one hell of a conundrum. And I don't think he should have been the first running back off from that backfield. I think if you listen to reports, beat writers a little closely, I think everybody's going to get their proverbial hand in the pot. But, a guy like DeAndre Swift, I feel like he got drafted just a little quick in our league. And I think someone reached a little bit on Cam Akers. I don't think he's a third rounder, but
Cam Akers went 3-4, and DeAndre Swift went 3-8.
No. Now again, we will emphasize that this is a keeper league, so it does get a little bit different.
Very much so.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm just over here stirring the pot, stirring the pot.
I mean, everybody talks about it after their drafts, like whose team looks like crap, whose team looks like this, blah, blah, blah. I fully expected my team to look like complete dog poo, seeing as how I didn't draft for, an hour or so. But I tell you what, I like my team, man. It's solid.
I mean, you had some players fall. Like there were some players that absolutely fell, and I honestly felt like you were able to take advantage of those, which was very nice.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, and like I said, we'll get into our do's and don'ts here, but I draft based off tiers, and it just happened that those players that were falling just happened to be in those certain tiers where I got, quite frankly, I got lucky. I mean, having some players in the spots I got them at were very, very lucky, but. Hey, luck is a part of it. Just like picking the number one overall again for the 5th, 6th, 7th time. I do believe in our league. So
ridiculous.
That helps.
By the way, the worst pick of the draft, Baker Mayfield got drafted.
What Cleveland homer took him?
If you
Wasn't
Baker.
even, it wasn't even a homer. Like it was like it was a Steelers fan.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a boner for Baker.
Wow.
And more than me. But this is strictly DFS term. I'm not drafting him on my yearly team. You crazy?
Yeah, the fact that Baker Mayfield got drafted. And you're talking to a guy who drafted Kyler Murray.
I mean, Sam Howell is still on our free agent list. Brock Purdy is still on our free agent list, but Baker Mayfield got drafted. So yeah. I'm with Baker. Exactly.
Bruh.
Yeah, exactly. I know that's how you feel. Feel.
Yeah, I can deal with the reaches. Baker Mayfield getting drafted, that's the worst pick.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I think, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and get started with our do's and don'ts, because that's actually a perfect segue into my first don't of redraft leagues. And that's letting personal bias influence your decision making. So everybody knows that, actually, this might be hard to explain only because I actually wound up with Geno Smith on my team. But everyone knows my bias towards Geno Smith, but I had zero inclination to actually draft him. And it just so happens that under the last round, Geno Smith was still available and I didn't have a quarterback, so I went ahead and drafted him. But it's one of those things where I can't let my personal bias interfere with picking. So if you are a homer, if you have your favorite home team or, this, that, and the other, don't let that come into play. Just let the draft come to you. Select off your tiers, select anything that, the way you're drafting. And just because you're obsessed with a guy, he's my favorite player in the NFL, I got to draft him, that's going to sink your fantasy team faster than the Titanic. So I would leave my personal bias completely aside. Chill, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, you definitely got to check your bias at the door. Whether that's, especially for yearly. Yeah, you can't draft on feelings, man. You have to draft, the best player available, who's there, what the board looks like. You got to use that information rather than personal bias. I mean, I've seen drafts where in the past, you have people, from Cleveland drafting, Nick Chubb #1 overall. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
It happens everywhere. I mean, Dallas guys drafting Tony Pollard #1 overall, or CeeDee Lamb overall, or stuff like that. That does happen, but you got to check your bias at the door.
I'm sure if you're drafted in Kansas City, Pat Mahomes is one of one.
Travis Kelce 1-3.
I could get behind Travis Kelce at pick 3. I can make an argument for that. I can't make an argument for Pat Mahomes.
Unless it's super flex, then yes, you can. But I get it. Bias has to be left at the door 100%. Baker, how do you feel about that?
I draft with the bias. So, I mean, I don't think it's by accident that the last 3 years Kirk Cousins has been, a staple on
Baker's draft sheet bleeds purple.
Well, even before Kirk Cousins got to Minnesota, Kirk Cousins was like him in Washington. I always ended up with Kirk Cousins on a lot of teams.
Is Washington one of your favorite teams, Baker?
I hate you, Joe.
Yep, it is.
Okay, I just want to make sure. There's a lot of bias there.
Back from the days of... That was all you, Baker. That was all you.
Me. That was me. Yeah. But I totally admit that I draft with a bias, but it's a selective bias for me. And what I mean by that is, using the example of Kirk Cousins, I'm still getting somebody who's in a high-powered offense, an offense that's going to put up a lot of points. So even though I'm a fan of Kirk Cousins, it's still a reasonable decision-making move on my behalf, especially considering in a lot of my leagues, which are keeper leagues, I have Justin Jefferson in damn near all my leagues anyway. So acquiring Kirk Cousins makes a lot more sense. It just so happens to be I'm also a huge fan of his too. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're not reaching 5 rounds in front of everybody to get Kirk Cousins.
You're not drafting Kirk Cousins in round 5 if it's a complete redraft.
Absolutely not.
like in
That's what I'm
round
trying to say avoid.
in round 10 or 11, and Cousins is there, you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, let me
Exactly.
get my starting quarterback now.
Yeah. I think 3 out of 4 of us don't draft a quarterback until the end. I can't speak for Dale.
I'm with you. I ain't.
Well, speaking of that, that was another shocking thing in our draft. 3 quarterbacks went in the second round.
Yeah.
Sully.
I was dumbfounded when that happened.
So the thing is, like, what has correlated with success for me has been drafting either breakout quarterbacks late or later than they should, or drafting somebody completely like serviceable, like you can stream quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's another a do when it comes to the draft is I like to wait on quarterbacks. I love Jalen Hurts, love Pat Mahomes, love Josh Allen, those guys, those top tier guys. Justin Herbert, like we said, could be an MVP candidate this year. But like the difference in scoring between, let's say, Geno Smith last year and a top flight quarterback like Jalen Hurts was a matter of like 2 to 3 points per game. Like that, yes, these guys can individually win you weeks by themselves, but is it worth the draft capital in like the second or third round for these guys to say, okay, this is my time to draft a quarterback, and you missed out on a positional player, potentially a positional starter in your flex, wide receiver, running back, tight end, that someone else, it slides down their board that they can get. Again, the difference between like drafting a Travis Kelce, who is one of one at that position, to Dalton Kincaid at the very end of the draft is going to be like a 9 to 10 point swing per game. But again, the difference between like Josh Allen and Geno Smith is 2 points or less over the course of the season, but it costs you 12 rounds of a difference. Then I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, and there is a stat for this. I might botch a little bit here, but it's been statistically proven over like the past 3 years, and I assume this year would have been the fourth. Like quarterbacks that are drafted in like rounds 8, 9, and 10 statistically win more leagues than anybody. So like last year, Jalen Hurts was going late. The year before that, it was like Josh Allen was going late and like that. And then the year before that, it was like Pat Mahomes was going late. And then there was another quarterback. There was probably a quarterback in between the Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen one. But like these are quarterbacks that were going late that statistically won more leagues than the quarterbacks that were going 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, you got, and I hate to keep bringing his name up, but Geno Smith was undrafted last year. I'm sure he won his handful of leagues for somebody. And that's not an outlier. That's an example. So like you said, these guys that were going late, like Baker remembers one of my last playoff runs, the Jalen Hurts year, drafted him in the 14th round. The year before that, when I won the championship, drafted Josh Allen like the 7th, 6th, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, way after than he's going now. And again, your example of our league, the 2nd round. So, like I said, I'm a wait and see type of guy on quarterbacks. And that's the way it's going to stay. Dale, how do you feel about that? Do you take your quarterbacks early, or are you a lingerer? Do you wait?
Oh, I'm definitely a lingerer. Like, unless for some reason like Pat Mahomes drops to like round 3, 4, like
That'll never
late happen. 3, early 4, then I'm not going anywhere up there.
No, that'll never happen.
I'll take the Derek Carrs of the world. I'll take the mid-tier guys. I'm not gonna get flashy with it.
Yeah, I respect that. Like I said, with Baker's example, if that player is completing like a stack for you or something like that, where like you can draft this guy like 1 or 2 rounds a little bit earlier, then it helps your team. But that makes sense. But again, you don't have to force it. You don't have to, 4 to 5 rounds early. That's no. You're wasting valuable draft capital on a guy that could fill out your roster much better than a quarterback. You can wait. I mean, just wait it out. Just wait it out. That's one of my that's one of the do's of the draft. Do You guys want to talk quick quarterback rankings, or I think we kind of hardcore know like who we're looking at in the top 5, but
I think the top 5 is pretty universal, wouldn't you think?
But can someone break into that top 5? That's the better question. Like we're telling these guys to draft these quarterbacks late, but who are those quarterbacks? Like who should we be targeting late?
So are we going on so at least my top 5 would be Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, probably Lamar, and then
Joe Burrow.
And then you're probably putting Burrow there, right? Or are you putting Justin Fields there?
I think
Joe Burrow.
I'm putting Joe Burrow there. I think Justin Fields is the most overdrafted player in this year's.
I agree. I'm not touching
Justin
Fields. But the quarterbacks that I think could probably break into that tier is Herbert, and then probably my favorite quarterback that I'm going to try to get late is Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor.
I'm gonna have to agree with T-Law on this one. I think the volume is going to be there to the point where he could, if not replicate what he did last year, exceed what he did last year.
And then I mean, like, if health's gonna be a factor for you, then I would probably say Tua. If he stays healthy all year, there's no reason why he can't be top 5, especially with the 2 wide receivers.
Baker, thoughts?
I mean, I agree with the 5. I think Tua is probably the main person that I look at that can get there, and he doesn't even have the rushing upside. Like that's the insane thing to me is that Tua. I think Tua, if he stays healthy, can legit get there, and he's not doing it. He's not giving you anything with his legs.
He better not even think of running the ball.
If he thinks of anything, he's probably going to get a concussion. So
facts.
So
he's thinking he's got a concussion. He's got a concussion.
Probably not wrong.
I mean, I don't mind Kenny Pickett late in drafts as well. I think he's somebody. I don't think he has top 5 upside, but I could see him sneaking into the top 10.
Are we going late draft heroes? I got a late draft hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Sprinkle him in.
If you say Anthony Richardson, I'm gonna slap you.
No. I'm not on that train. I was gonna say Daniel Jones.
Dude, Daniel Jones has been overlooked the past. Like, you want to talk about somebody that has upside with their legs, it's got to be Daniel Jones. I mean, this offense should take a step forward the second year under Brian Daboll. I mean, like, he was solid last year. He won weeks by himself last year. So, yes, I 100% agree with Daniel Jones. That's another free agent in our league, isn't it, Baker?
I think so.
Daniel Jones is still available.
Yeah. I mean, like,
someone drafted Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying.
Hold on. Right. But Daniel Jones' ADP is higher than, like, Geno Smith and Jared Goff.
People don't touch Daniel Jones.
Yep. Because, like, they don't have stacking partners. Like, Darren Waller's going a little earlier than expected, but if you're not a Darren Waller owner, like, why else do you need Daniel Jones? So they probably just go somewhere else.
Right. I mean,
yeah, Daniel Jones is 100% just chilling in free agency.
I mean, if you want like a true YOLO ball,
Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson aren't. I'm sorry, Chill. I'm just so mad at this right now.
my true YOLO ball would probably be Jordan Love. Like, you need some filler. That'd be the Hail Mary for me, would be Jordan Love.
I think in deeper leagues, I think he's rosterable, but I don't know about starting-able.
That's why it's a Hail Mary. Like, you're drafting him like, hey man, he could maybe pan out. Or if you have to cut his ass, then he's expendable.
What about Josh Dobbs there, guy?
Well, considering Kyler Murray does come back to play football.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
I know he had a goofing around session at the beginning of this, but don't touch Josh Dobbs.
No,
please don't.
Just please don't.
I mean, draft all the Arizona Cardinals you can, but just don't draft Josh Dobbs.
Don't do that. That's a don't.
Yeah, that's a big don't. Stay away from every Cardinal that you can.
They're trying to lose, guys.
Oh no,
they're trying to lose.
I mean, they might be trying to lose, but Hollywood Brown's going to get 20 targets a week.
I don't care. I just don't care.
Targets
This
and targets.
offense is going to be worse than the Broncos offense from last year.
Bet. No, it won't.
Oh God. Oh, I'll take that.
Bro,
Easy.
their offensive line is so bad.
Are you kidding me? This is going to be a historically bad offense. Historically bad.
Yeah, they really want to get some Caleb Williams.
Right. They cut their starter because he actually stood a chance to win a game.
Oh,
No, wait.
If Colt McCoy was starting, best believe that lineup would be a Colt McCoy lineup. Unrelated note, but continue.
Damn right.
And the revenge game too. Oof.
It would have been the revenge game. Colt McCoy week 1 revenge.
Wow.
Baker's face said it all.
Wow.
We're talking week 1 revenge narratives already. I love it.
Damn the Cardinals from taking that away from us.
Seriously. I 100% agree. Is there a quarterback in this field that we're not drafting?
Mine's Justin Fields.
Mine is Justin Fields as well at his ADP. I'm not saying that he's going to do bad. I think he's going to be a very good fantasy quarterback, but I'm not drafting him in the 4th or 5th round when he's naturally going right now. I just can't physically do it.
He would have to fall to round like 9 or 10.
I'd say 7 or 8.
For me, it's 9 or 10 because that's when I would be drafting a quarterback anyway. And I'm probably still going to take Trevor Lawrence over him. But at that point, I have to consider it.
That's fair. Baker, you not touching somebody with a 10-foot pole this year, or
Aaron Rodgers?
Everybody's on the table. Hey, Aaron?
Aaron Rodgers. I want nothing to do with that man.
I figured one of you guys may have said Deshaun Watson.
I mean, I thought that was already a given.
Yeah, why was anybody considering drafting Deshaun Watson anyway?
I'm just saying, I think he has a high form. I think he has a high ADP, truthfully.
His ADP is higher than Dak Prescott, Tua, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins.
And that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame.
His consensus ADP, from what I'm looking at, is like 7th round, early 8.
Here's guys I'd rather have over Deshaun Watson. Daniel Jones.
I would rather have
Derek Carr.
I would rather have everybody that has him in this tier over Deshaun Watson, which is Tua. I'd take Russ and I'd take Dak.
I would not take Russ, and I would not.
I would take Dak. You take Dak.
I'm gonna take Dak for the 6 games that he plays this year.
So that means you're also taking Trey Lance, the combination of Dak and Trey Lance.
Oh, Cooper Rush.
Drafting Trey Lance? Are you fucking serious? Hard pass. I'm not doing that.
You know what? I'm in an auction league tomorrow. I'm drafting Trey Lance.
$1.
Good man. How much is the league gonna pay you to draft Trey Lance?
And it's a super flex league tomorrow, so.
Oh my God. Yeah. You're gonna have some additional spending capital when you get Trey Lance.
Well, chill, depending on when your A game is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I might be doing that right next to you, buddy.
My A game is right after the B game.
Never mind then. Never the fuck mind.
Yeah, we play at 6, and then I play again at 6:50.
All right, so now that we got the quarterback stuff done, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Jonathan Taylor, what are you doing with JT in your drafts? Dale, I'll start with you.
He doesn't exist in my draft board.
Complete X, okay.
Yeah,
Complete X.
I really got a feeling it's going to turn into like a Le'Veon Bell situation where he just doesn't play this year. And because they're going to stand pat that they want top tier return for that trade, so he's just not going to play.
Well, I mean, the scary thing is they put him on the pump, so that means it's like that ankle issue is still an issue, but obviously that relationship with the Colts is broken. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Chill, how you feel about the situation? Does JT have to fall far for you to pick him up, or is he X'd out like you?
No, he doesn't have to fall. He doesn't have to fall super far. And maybe we can get into this really quick. okay, so if you're like brand new draft, like I know how I draft. So in this year, I think a lot of people would tend to be wide receiver heavy versus running back heavy. So I'm running back heavy. So my first 3 to 4 picks are going to be running backs. So if Jonathan Taylor is sitting there in the 4th round, I'm probably going to take him.
So you say 4th round? He's got to drop to?
He could go 3rd, depending on who my first 2 running backs are.
So
Because the running back position this year, once you kind of get out of that top 10, it's ugly.
I don't know, man.
It's ugly.
I've been kind of liking
because
drafting running backs late, man. It's been pretty nice.
Because again, it depends if you're in a 10-team league, a 12-team league, stuff like that. But again, last year, I ended up my number 1 wide receiver ended up being AJ Brown. It panned out. So again, that type of stuff can happen because the wide receiver position is the most volatile position in football.
Yes, I agree.
But that's how I draft. So for me, Jonathan Taylor could go. I could take him in the 3rd or 4th, because again, I draft running backs like crazy, and it's been working out well for me. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Baker, JT, how you feeling?
I mean, he's definitely still on my draft board, 100% on my draft board. Like the fact of Dale completely Xing him off of his draft board just sounds crazy.
It's Dale doing Dale things.
It is.
Because I don't think he sits out the entire season. I think either, he quote unquote shows up and, plays the season out, blah, 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 blah for the Colts. Somebody comes with something somewhere close to what the Colts want, and they're willing to, accept whatever that may be.
Right. The report was they wanted Jalen Waddle in the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I'm the Dolphins, I say you can absolutely suck my left testicle.
And I think he plays because you're looking at Josh Jacobs and Barkley were both going to sit out, and then they just took the deal because because I think they're at the point right now they know if they don't play, they're still not going to get a big contract.
Absolutely. So at some point in time, he's going to play.
He's going to play. He's going to have to play. He doesn't have a choice.
And I'm saying I have no problem gambling on me being able to, tread water the first couple weeks because he's out for the first 4 weeks. I can tread water if I'm 2-2 after 4 weeks and I have Jonathan Taylor coming back to my squad. The league's in trouble.
Right. So I guess so my question for John so it kind of goes with Jonathan Taylor. What round are you willing to take Alvin Kamara in?
The 3rd.
Because
I have to amend that answer because I took him in the 3rd in our league, but that doesn't apply to keepers, so I'd probably take him in the 5th.
Again, because
I think his ADP doesn't change too much. I mean, everybody knows how long he's going to be gone. 3 games isn't too bad. So it's I see it like this. You have several guys with different situations that could be serviceable for your team at different blocks of the season, right? So if you draft Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara on the same team, for the first 4 or 5 games, you have a full workload probably of Dalvin Cook while you're waiting on Alvin Kamara. Then Alvin Kamara comes back. That workload in New York gets split with Breece Hall when he's fully healthy. Then you can rotate those guys out. So it's more so you're looking at the season in segments. So if you have guys that are going to be, at least serviceable for the first 3 weeks that he's gone while you're waiting on Alvin Kamara to come back, then that's great. So I think you set up your draft in that scenario. So you're drafting your RB1 and potential RB2 or at least a stopgap RB2 in lieu of waiting for Alvin Kamara. So I'm not changing where his ADP is. I'm not going to reach for Alvin Kamara, but he doesn't have to fall. But I'm not changing my strategy on a guy like that.
Fair point. Good enough.
Is there any other notable running backs that could, let's say, break into the top 5? As we mentioned for receivers, are there some guys out there that could have potentially breakout years to creep into the top 5?
Khalil Herbert.
Explain.
Just Khalil Herbert is going to be the feature back, right? And
the feature back on that team's the quarterback.
True.
What he said.
But Justin Fields. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. He does like to check the ball down a lot.
Was that the Miz? Quick question: Was that the Miz doing that,
or was that Senor Knight?
This was sound clip before the impersonation, so that was LA Knight.
Okay, just curious.
That was a pretty great impersonation. Just throwing that out there.
The Miz is fantastic. So
he's awesome.
He is awesome. But yeah, I honestly think that Khalil Herbert could. This is not. I'm not going to get that crazy, but could go over 750 yards receiving this year. Receiving.
Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Get some help.
I had to play that twice because I'm still tripping about that. 750 yards receiving? Right back? You think he is CMC? That's not no. That's just not going to happen. Does he have massive touchdown upside in this run-heavy offense? Yes, absolutely. Receiving prowess? I mean, they went out and acquired receiving help.
Because they were sick. They were sick at receiver, so they got help. So sick, help. Sick, help.
Yes, Justin Fields was sick of throwing to who they traded. What's his name? Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
Second round pick for him.
Robbery.
Oh, the Steelers got the heist on that one.
Oh, did they ever, boy? Man, they stole the bag on that one for sure. Chill. Any breakout candidates for you that the listeners should be targeting in our in their drafts coming up this weekend at the running back position?
I mean, like if we're looking for like maybe just a true breakout here, I'll go with Ken Walker.
You're not scared of the draft capital that Seattle spent on Mr. Charbonnet?
I'm not. I mean, I think there's that offense is going to be really good. Pete Carroll does like to rely on the run a little bit too much. Ken Walker, when healthy, was playing really good. I mean, just taking a look here at some of these other guys, in terms of a breakout season, I mean, most of these are just your usual candidates. I guess my other one would probably be ETN if he stays healthy as well.
I kind of like the backup. I kind of like take Bigsby a little better.
He had a good preseason. I won't steal Baker's breakout candidate. The number one running back in fantasy football.
Well, I wasn't going to go there because I've already been there, so there's no need for me to mention him again.
It's a different show, Baker. We could have a different listener.
I mean, he's not even a breakout. I mean, he was a top 10 running back last year.
Yeah, but if he breaks into the top 5, that was the question.
I mean,
yes, can he compete with the CMCs and the Ecklers and the Josh Jacobs of the world?
Well, I'm going to go off of the radar. Well, if you don't know who we're talking about here, we're talking about Ramondre Stevenson and my absolute love for him. But I'm going to go a different route on this one.
You're biased.
What, for Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah.
Baker, you can have him in Dynasty for 5 ones.
I don't have 5 ones yet.
Okay, 4 ones and a 2.
I'm in the process of getting my fourth first round pick.
Perfect.
So
you can have Ramondre.
No.
See, no bias there.
All right. All right.
If that was Jay Jetta, he'd be offering me 10 first-round picks because he just wears the color purple.
Funny story. In a different league that I joined for the first time last year, obviously, it was also a keeper league. So I walk into the league without having Jay Jetta, and I have him in every other kicker league. I offered somebody 6 first-round picks for Jay Jetta. The league said no.
Bruh.
The league vetoed it.
How do you get turned down by the league?
The
They were
league
like
said
that.
no.
The league was like, that's not fair. He'd have 6 first-round picks. And I'm like, I wouldn't have a first-round pick until 2030.
Yeah. 2030.
But
league
anyway,
said
getting back on target here. Digging a little bit deeper. I think I'm going to go with Rashad White. As a person who could potentially break into the top 10, and if things break right for him, even the top 5. His receiving work in college was elite, and we saw glimpses of that when Uncle Lenny was out last year. No, not it has nothing to do with Baker Mayfield. It has nothing to do with Baker Mayfield.
Wait.
You shut your mouth.
Mayfield.
Wait.
You shut your mouth.
Wait. Calm down, Baker. Calm down. What team does he play for again?
He plays for Tampa Bay.
Okay, so if they're going to be so horrible, how could he be top 5 running back? Normally, top 5 running backs don't exist on terrible teams.
That's not true.
Normally.
That's not true.
Normally. This ain't Josh Jacobs here, okay? On a piss poor Raiders team, all right? I mean, they were that bad last year, but still.
I mean, Bijan Robinson's probably going to finish top 5, and
but he's going in the top 5 for
the Falcons.
Right, he's going as a top 5 running back, right?
But the Falcons are going to be trash. That's my point. The Falcons are going to suck.
Not according to Vegas.
What does Vegas know?
Everything.
Yeah. What does Vegas know?
Actually, I'm going to probably put Alvin Kamara could break into the top 5 for running backs.
Despite missing her games?
I think so.
Missed 3 games.
Sully,
still make top 5 running back?
If he breaks into the top 5 and I already have RB1 on my team, you guys are in trouble.
I ain't in trouble. I ain't worried about you, son.
Dude didn't pick for 5 rounds and still ain't scared of you.
Spicy. My team is supposed to be in rebuilding, but you know what? I'm coming out guns blazing, damn it.
Well, I mean, Jordan Addison falling to the 6th round was criminal. That
was lovely.
I was mad that I really it would have felt weird. I would have been a DFS lineup every week if I would have drafted him.
You would have drafted a Viking? That's crazy.
Shut up.
That's crazy.
I only have 2 Vikings. I only have 2 Vikings. Chill.
And then maybe another interesting running back here would be Dobbins.
I just don't like that
don't
backfield.
like
and
that.
Again, their RB1 is the quarterback. So I
just think that offense is like their defense is not particularly great. So I do think they're going to be in a decent amount of shootout games, but I still think that they're going to be successful at running the ball. It is Baltimore. It's not like they're going to forget how to run the football.
I agree. I like Dobbins for sure.
Again, health pending, of course.
Of course, yeah. Always health pending. Another due in the draft for me personally is that Baker kind of follows this advice as well. If you're in a league that doesn't require you drafting a kicker, don't until the last minute where you have to. I'd rather take a flyer on a guy that's like on a roster bubble or potentially could break out, get some good reports out of camp that he's going to be the guy instead of another guy, kind of hold that roster spot down because kickers are a dime a dozen. We got rid of kickers specifically because of, BS. But if you're in a league that still retains kickers, and if you don't have to draft one and that or a defense, I would just pick up another player until you're ready. And then if you have to, when the week's coming up, just kind of drop them onto the free agent wire if something doesn't change. But yeah, that's another do in the draft for me is that I do not select a defense or a kicker unless I absolutely have to, or I see one of the top flight like defenses for like week 1, and that's still a last round type of deal. So I'd rather fill my roster spot with people that matter because kickers don't. Thoughts?
Just
Same.
don't be the first person in your draft to draft a kicker. I think that's bigger than drafting him in the last round. Don't start the run on kickers.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that does happen in every draft, doesn't it? Like one person draft a kicker, it's like, oh, it must be kicker time, and everyone drafts a freaking kicker.
It's kickers and defenses. Once that one person decides, yeah, I want to get the best defense, whatever defense that
there's
is.
Nothing the Yahoo grades love more than a kicker and defense.
I know, right?
Oh, you're
That's why
missing
he
a
got
kicker
off
in
Yahoo.
defense? F.
Bleep Yahoo.
Also, ignore the draft grades if you draft on ESPN or Yahoo. I consistently get D's and F's and I win. So ignore the grades.
No, the grades are you're drafting for your grade, Joe. Like if you lose the draft
Bro,
according to their
I can't tell you how many times
lose.
ESPN has picked my team to come in last. And then guess what? By week 3, that shit, it goes from 10 to 1.
My favorite was 2 years ago when I won this championship in our league, when they gave me a D- and was like, his team's going to struggle to win 2 games. And then they gave Randy an A+, and he proceeded not to make the freaking playoffs. So, yeah.
Well, Randy got an A+ due to like
his
Yahoo
keepers.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's Alvin Kamara in the 8th round or whatever it was at that point in time.
Yeah, and like Tyreek Hill in the 3rd or something.
It's like, yeah. Oh, you got the steal of the draft with Alvin Kamara in the 8th round.
That's true. Yeah, Yahoo does not take into account that half these people are kept for low round picks. So, you know. But still, I never forget, man. Freaking Yahoo dogged me. They dogged me about my
trash, bro. You are
right.
trash.
Right. Why are you reaching for this guy? I'm like, calm down.
Well, Yahoo had a right to dog you last year after drafting Chase Edmonds in the 3rd round, so.
You were salty that I drafted Chase Edmonds, you hating son of a bitch, because you wanted him too.
I was pissed.
Hey, man.
You bit the bullet for me.
I draft on tiers. I can't help it that he was in the next tier.
For me. Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I stepped right in front of it. Fucking no, man. You know what, Chase Edmonds? And I died on that hill. I died that day. There ain't no doubt about that. Chill. What kind of rankings do you use when you go into your drafts?
I use tiers. I'll make tiers before the draft.
Excellent.
Or I'll use some pre-made tiers.
Yeah, and then adjust them. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, and that's another don't for the draft. Before I kick it over to you, Baker, is like if you're still printing out top 200 sheets from a draft or from a site and printing them right before the draft and crossing people out manually, you're a fucking idiot. Like, stop doing that shit.
That sounds
get yourself
like a lot
some
of
tiers.
Effort.
Get yourself, don't and and the guys that are still crossing names out of books.
The books, man.
Like, that's definitely a
stop it. Get some help.
Moment right there. Like, stop with the magazines that are outdated 4 months ago. They're just like, oh, this guy. Things change. People get cut. Injuries happen. People have contract disputes. These rankings change every day. And things that happen at our draft over this past weekend could change for you guys drafting this weekend. So stop with the top 200 sheets. Stop that shit. Just stop it. Baker, how you feel about it?
Well, one, next year for our draft, we should all have to go off of magazines. That's what we should.
That's what you should make the guy who finishes the last punishment is. He has to use a magazine.
No internet, no YouTube,
no internet, no phone, no nothing. Just this is what you got.
The day of the draft, he has the magazine. No phone, no nothing.
God, that sounds terrible.
Like his computer is in the front of the class, so everybody could see it.
Right. Yep. No sneaking off either. He's got to turn in his phone before the test.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I mean, sometimes like the no-brainer pick is the no-brainer pick for a reason. And I feel like, people talk themselves out of, certain picks at times, especially when you're at the top of the draft. Obviously, the Viking, in which I mention a lot, is the consensus 1-1. You can make the argument for Christian McCaffrey. You can make an argument for Jamar Chase. Like, those are really the only 3 guys you should be considering. at that position. Like, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room when you have one of those top picks.
I agree. But I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes bias can creep in because it's another thing where it's like, and Dale, I'll kick to you after this when you talk about rankings, but sometimes like you go into drafts and you're like, your guy is your guy. You got to go get your guy, right? So if you're sitting at the 101 and no one wants to trade the 101, but your guy, because you're an Eagles fan, is AJ Brown. Doesn't make any sense to take AJ Brown, but you're sitting there like, this is the only way I'm going to be able to acquire AJ Brown on my team.
You don't do that.
I mean, I know that. But, there's people out there that, again, won't take our advice at the very beginning to say, put your personal bias aside. I don't know. Again, if you're in a spot where it's like you're at like the 3 or 4 and your guy's like Cooper Kupp, but you still have Tyreek Hill there, you still have, Travis Kelce there, guys like that. At that point, I'm pulling the trigger on my guy, Cooper Kupp.
Absolutely.
But if I'm in like the 1, 2, or 3, like it's not really a debate. It's CMC, Jay Jetta, Jamar Chase, or bust. I mean, this
is literally, let's just keep it simple, stupid.
Yep, absolutely. So Dale, you said you use tiers as well, or do you have another draft strategy?
No, it's tiers. Really,
I was expecting Dale to say magazines.
Dude, I was going to just grab a freaking fantasy magazine from behind his back, like this. I use this
one
for every draft.
I saw Sam go down the steps earlier. Maybe he's just telling her, like, "Hey, babe, get rid of the magazines."
That's not happening. She is right there, but that is not happening.
Sorry,
she already did it.
She
already got rid of them. She already got rid of all my magazines. No, I was actually at Giant Eagle earlier this week, and I saw those fantasy magazines. And I was like, I didn't know they still made these. Same thing with the what you call it? The what?
Was it Market District? Rich bastard. Stuck up bastard.
It is not Market District. I have a Giant Eagle with walking distance from my house that I go to.
He gets his magazines from Heinen's,
Yeah, exactly. I was going through the fine wine section. I happened to stumble upon the peasant magazines for fantasy. I said, I can't believe you still service these in my store.
How dare you?
How dare thee?
Sorry.
Right. Giant Eagle, you rid thyself of old school ESPN fantasy magazine.
It wasn't even ESPN, though. It was like some weird shit. It wasn't even like
a bunch of different companies that make those magazines. Yeah.
And then there was one, I swear to God, like, you remember those old, those world record books? The Guinness Book of World Records. I was like, that fucking thick. It was that. It was a book like that. And I'm like, why?
What's up, Baker? What do you have to say?
And I apologize on cutting in on Dale, but can I have a don't listen to ESPN?
Yeah.
This is not an ESPN This is not a very ESPN friendly show.
No, we are a very anti 4-letter network. I'll tell you that right now.
Like their fantasy analysis is absolute dog shit.
It's a joke, an absolute joke.
Sam does not approve of that take.
The 4-letter network is ass when it comes to fantasy.
I mean, it's not the greatest in general, but when it comes to fantasy, it's by far the worst.
I mean, there are so many different outlets now that you can get really good fantasy advice from. Like, obviously, with us, we're not analytical. I'm not going to drop a bunch of stats on you because stats freaking suck. But if you're that type of person that just loves numbers, there's so many different resources that you can have. Like, there's plenty of paid sites that you can go through. I mean, like, but not the 4-letter network. Just stop it.
Listening to Field Yates talk fantasy makes me want to rip out my locks.
I love stats and numbers like that, so yeah.
And the 4-letter network is not a place to get those.
No, it's not. I didn't say I like ESPN.
Okay, good.
I am on your guys'
Or else you'd be
team with
fired,
this.
like right now.
Wow. Like, who's gonna close the grill?
Das Boot.
I'll close the grill, bro.
I was
Can't
gonna
be
say,
hard.
man, Chili is cross trained on everything in the shop. I mean, he's
You just know one person who's not closing it. Me.
yeah,
You're
we
taking
know.
your smoke break. Sully's counting the drawers. You're taking the smoke break. I'm closing the grill.
Why do you think my screen went black when I was talking?
Hey, had to get it in real quick, man. Had to get it in. There's gonna be a lot of drawer counting this year, especially when we get into the DFS talk. So the bag shall be acquired. I told you, man. I told Chill yesterday. I'm fiending.
That is next week's episode.
Yeah, first round of who we playing. Any other do's and don'ts before we go ahead and lock it up for this week?
Yes.
Go on, Dale.
Do not draft.
What was the thing you were texting me about, bro? Like what was you had something to say or something, and you're glad we were recording because of something?
No, I was just glad that we were recording today because, like, I've just been in a shitty mood all day and I want to argue with somebody. So, surprisingly, I've not gotten into an argument yet today, but I probably will when I get on an Xbox later. But
there's plenty of little kids to argue with. All right,
no.
fair. All right, what else?
What
other do's and don'ts you got for them then?
My do's this is a do not draft any Browns players and do not draft any Carolina Panthers.
Whoa,
that's a hot take.
Whoa,
do not draft any Browns players and do not draft any Carolina Panthers, and you will be okay.
Okay, first of all,
I just drafted a Carolina
Cooper
Panther.
has something to say to you. All right,
and I just drafted a Carolina Panther.
Amari Cooper is only suitable in your lineup for half of the games.
Okay, that's fine.
And where are you drafting him?
Oh, he's a fourth rounder for sure.
He's probably a fourth or fifth rounder. He's probably my wide receiver one.
Yeah, he could be, and he'd be a very good wide receiver one. I'd be fine with Amari if I left the draft with Amari Cooper as my wide receiver one. I wouldn't be mad. And Njoku, a late round sleeper. Now I'm not drafting Deshaun Watson's punk ass, but his targets absolutely. And what's your beef with Carolina?
They're my other team. No, you don't draft anybody off of that team.
Yo, Miles Sanders?
I just drafted somebody from Carolina in the draft I finished before this show started.
Was it a defensive player?
It actually was.
Nice.
One of my IDPs.
Way to call him out, Chill. Way to call him out.
Right.
It was just a general question. I wasn't even looking to call the man out. I just knew he was drafting defensive players.
Nah, I knew he was alluding to some kind of skill position player, and he ain't drafting no damn skill position players. We drafted an IDP. All right.
I actually did draft Chuba Hubbard too.
I mean, listen,
Chuba Hubbard.
Listen, I'm looking at the ADP here for Carolina wide receivers. Unless if you're going into some pretty deep drafts, chances are they're going to be available.
You're talking about Adam Thielen and
DJ Shark.
Yeah,
and
DJ
Jonathan
Shark.
Mingo.
Mingo.
I think if I'm gonna take a risk on anybody, it will be Mingo. To be honest,
or Terrence Marshall.
Not touching Terrence Marshall with a 10 football. No, I'm good. Chili, any more meat on the bones for this weekend?
I would say, I mean, in terms of a don't, unless if you're realistically drafting Travis Kelce, don't reach for a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depending on how many teams your league is, if it's a 10-team league, you're still getting a top 10 tight end. And you can always just get a serviceable backup as well if you want to draft two. Even in a 12-team league, you're still getting a top 12 tight end at that point. But don't reach for a tight end unless it's Travis Kelce.
I like it.
Can I make a case real quick?
A case for not drafting Travis Kelce?
No, another do not in the league.
Chop the shit out of you if you're talking about not drafting Travis Kelce.
Oh, no. Another do not is standard 12-team league, do not draft Kyle Pitts.
Not.
I can give you 12 tight ends right now that I would draft over Kyle Pitts.
Chill. Are we beating the drum for Kyle Pitts again this year, or are we?
Dude,
Don't you
I'm
fucking dare.
absolutely beating the drum for Kyle Pitts.
You're supposed to be burning money with Kyle Pitts.
And you know what, Baker? It's my money to burn.
Hey, you do what you want with it. That's perfectly fine.
I mean, he didn't hurt me that much as what you would think, truthfully.
He only had that exorbitant price tag like every damn week because his name is Kyle Pitts. Like each
Right.
was anticipating a breakout. Dude was garbage.
What was it? The breakout game should have been the Seattle game, right? But he got overthrown like twice, wide open.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Baker was just sitting there praying for those overthrows.
Yeah. He was shitting a brick for 2.5 seconds.
He's like, oh my God, if
not.
Kyle Pitts catches this ball, my phone is about to get broke. But he obnoxious of me and Sully in the back.
Put that shit on mute real quick.
Well, don't worry. I'm not worried about those texts coming through this year either because Kyle Pitts is still ass.
Man, don't make me. I'll run a Riddler stack.
All right, chill. Hey. Prop bet. First prop bet of the season.
All right. Send me a head-to-head, bro.
Absolutely.
Right. 1v1 me, bro.
This is absolutely going to be a 1v1. I'll take Tyler Higbee versus Kyle Pitts.
Ooh, but see, I like Tyler Higbee in week 1.
No, I'm talking about for the year.
Oh, for the year. Ooh,
For the
year. For the year, that's kind of dangerous because Atlanta's a running team and the Rams are going to be throwing a lot.
I mean, if you believe in your boy Kyle Pitts, this shouldn't even be close.
I believe in Kyle Pitts, but their system is run the football 3 straight times and go from there.
And punt.
This should not even. This should not even be
And punt.
Normally that's AKA punt the damn ball.
Right.
Baker, any last words for the listeners that are going to be drafting on this Labor Day weekend and beyond?
Don't be me. And by that, I drank a decent amount during that draft. I was still coherent, but definitely drank a decent amount. And there was a few things in my draft where I was like, crap, I knew that, and my brain just wasn't working properly.
I got some dues to add when he's done.
I feel like you're right, Baker. I wanted to use that tip to say like, hey, save the drinking for after the draft, or at least be very, very slow paced with the drinking because, man, it could mess you up real quick. There was one guy in our draft that was passed out on the table after the 13th round.
Oh, no.
Knocked out.
Knocked the hell out.
Go.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. Not going to say any names, but yeah, at least make it through your draft. Sober.
I mean, he came back to life.
He came back to life. Pick some players, but I don't know how well it's gonna work out.
But yeah, like for a moment, we looked over like,
are you dead?
You good? He knows who he is. I'm not gonna bring.
He
it
does.
Up. He does.
Is he a loyal listener of the?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty
show?
sure he listens too.
Yeah, He does.
Oh
He does.
boy.
He'll know.
If you know, you know.
All right, chill. Last thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think we got to throw a couple of do's in there. Again, man, trust the gut. More often than not, the gut is right. Have some fun in your draft, whether you're drafting with family, friends, coworkers. So have a little bit of fun. Also,
yeah, you can play DJ and announce the draft picks like someone did. I mean, that was fun. It added to the ambiance.
It absolutely did.
I think
John
it did. absolutely
killed it. Announcing the
absolutely,
picks.
100% agree.
I would say when you're getting ready to like pick a guy, or you know your pick is coming up, you know, like maybe as a courtesy, kind of have like maybe like 3 players you're willing to target. Don't be that guy once it gets to you and your guy's been taken. Don't be the guy to take 5 minutes to make a pick. All right, don't be that guy. Have a couple players lined up. get your shit in. It should take 30 seconds to pick, bro.
Your if then scenarios. If this player goes, then I select this player type
correct,
deal.
man. Like, listen, have 3 in the chamber. If all 3 go, then I'll give you a pass. But don't be that guy to be like 3 to 4 minutes a pick. That's ignorant.
What's
I
up,
was about
Baker?
to say I was that guy. I had 3 players in the first round.
You get a pass.
The 3 players, boom, 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 and I'm like,
you get a pass.
Fuck.
You get a pass because again, I don't expect you to be 4 players deep. 3, I can expect. 4, then you're fucking scrambling. I give you a pass on that.
There was no plan D. There was no plan D. Hold on.
No.
Timer.
With plan D, you just
somebody called the clock on me in the first round. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
And plan D, you got screwed, and you hate to see it. But don't be that guy that takes. Don't be that guy that takes like 4 to 5 minutes a pick. Like, again, drafts are fun, but once we're in the 13th, 12th, 13th round, we're over it.
Yeah, we're going. Let's go.
Right. Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. We'd like to wish everybody good luck in their drafts this weekend.
Good luck.
Good luck. Those of you that are listening on the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe on the way out on Amazon Music, Stitcher, the iTunes. Make sure you do the thing. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and comment below the teams that you ended up drafting this weekend. Let me know your best drafted team and who made the biggest reach in the draft. And I want to hear some funny stories.
Did Baker Mayfield get drafted in your league?
Yeah. Why is Baker Mayfield on a team where Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, and Sam Howell are just free agents? I mean, is
anybody in your league still drafting Tom Brady or Antonio Brown? Let us know in the comment section below.
Man.
They're going to come back. They're going to come back.
So that one guy stashing Rob Gronkowski, like, they'll never know. Gonna put him on the IR spot and just watch him come back.
There's a guy out there like Tom Brady starting for San Fran in week 6. Like,
there's definitely that one guy out there.
There's a guy out there. He's the guy that's penciling in Tom Brady name on the board with a marker because you don't get him as a sticker.
Damn.
I'm very surprised Kits don't have Tom Brady still left as a sticker. Like, why not?
Right.
Just why not?
They should just have a separate sheet. It should just be like the legacy sheet. So it says like Gronk, AB, Tom Brady, Frank Gore.
Guys that could come back at any time. Adrian Peterson.
Phillip
Rivers. Andrew Luck.
Rivers, Matt Ryan.
Andrew Luck's going to come out of retirement this year. Watch.
He's going to become a Hall of Famer and then come out of retirement.
What did I see somewhere? I saw a report about that where, like, I want to say it was early last week. A shit ton of people started drafting Andrew Luck in CBS leagues for some reason.
Yeah, man, people are crazy. People believe the hype.
That's ridiculous.
He's only been retired for what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
I think this is year 4 because next year he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. So I think next year's year 5.
But he's coming back.
He's coming back.
I said Matt Ryan coming out of the booth. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Bring Peyton Manning back. Peyton and Eli making a comeback.
They are perfectly happy doing their commentary for Monday night.
Perfectly happy.
Ben Roethlisberger.
That's another one. The rapist come back. I'm just saying.
He's coming back to be the new Browns quarterback.
Big Ben will come back and be the quarterback for San Fran.
Nah, I mean, if Browns fans see Ben Roethlisberger, they just say "Daddy's home with the milk." That's all Browns fans would say about Roethlisberger.
I think he would come out of retirement to play for San Francisco.
They have Tom Brady 2.0. They have Tom Brady 2.0. They don't need another quarterback.
Injury pending, Baker. Injury pending.
Okay.
It's all because of injury, not because of performance.
Correct.
Because Brock Purdy is Tom Brady 2.0.
And I mean, that could be a fair assessment. We'll see.
All right, boys, we're going to go ahead and close up the shop. Again, good luck in your fantasy drafts this weekend. And as always, we'll see you all at the top. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out.